Welcome to Storycraft Portal, where every story unlocks a hidden world, a deeper truth, and an untold mystery. Today, we bring you a tale once believed to be legend, the daring escape of 3 prisoners from Alcatraz, the world's most secure prison. Picture this: a stormy night, waves crashing against rock, and 3 men with nothing but hope. No maps, no GPS, just raw determination to survive and taste freedom. And now, 63 years later, science has finally uncovered the truth. Was it a brilliant plan or fate? Let's unravel the mystery, only on Storycraft Portal. The year was 1962, and Alcatraz stood like a cold, merciless rock in the heart of San Francisco Bay. For years, it was believed that no one could escape its iron grip, surrounded by freezing waters, deadly currents, and guards trained to shoot without hesitation. Inside cell block B, inmate Frank Morris stared at the ceiling, his sharp mind already planning the impossible. Alongside him were the Anglin brothers, John and Clarence, both seasoned criminals, but now dreaming of something bigger than crime: freedom. They weren't just trying to escape a prison, they were running from the ghosts of their pasts. They had nothing left to lose and everything to gain. Each whisper they exchanged at night, each scrape of metal against concrete, was a rebellion against a system designed to break them. They weren't just inmates. They were architects of the most legendary escape attempt in history. Frank Morris wasn't an ordinary inmate. His IQ was said to be near genius level. Every day, he studied the routines of the guards, the cracks in the system, and the silence between footsteps. With the Anglin brothers at his side, they started carving through the back wall of their cells using spoons stolen from the mess hall. It was slow, dangerous, and exhausting. They'd cover the holes with cardboard and paint during the day. At night, they chipped away, whispering their fears and hopes. The sound of scraping metal became a lullaby of resistance. They collected raincoats, over 50 in total, planning to build a makeshift raft. It wasn't just about escape anymore. It was about proving the system wrong. That even the most fortified prison in the world could be outsmarted by desperate minds with nothing but willpower and time. By spring, the trio had turned their plan into action. They created dummy heads from soap, toilet paper, and real hair collected from the barbershop. The heads were eerily lifelike, crafted to fool guards during bed checks. While one kept watch, the others worked silently in shifts, hiding tools in vents and above the ceiling. They had fashioned drills from stolen vacuum motor parts, used belts to fasten pieces together, and even rigged a secret workshop in an unused service corridor. Raincoats were carefully stitched together with needle and thread, sealed using heat from steam pipes to form a raft and life vests. The prison wasn't just their cage now. It had become their workshop. They weren't just escaping. They were building history with stolen parts and stitched hope. And every passing day brought them one step closer to the dark waters beyond the walls. The cold hit them like knives as they stepped into the bay. The homemade raft, barely stitched together, bobbed in the waves. They inflated it with a stolen concertina, a small accordion-like instrument-turned-air pump. Minutes felt like hours as they paddled into the unknown, guided by moonlight and sheer hope. No one spoke. Every splash felt like it echoed to the shore. Behind them, Alcatraz stood silent and unaware. Ahead of them lay 1,000 dangers, currents strong enough to drag ships under, hypothermia, and the possibility of being spotted. But freedom is louder than fear. At 5:30 a.m., guards discovered the empty cells. Sirens screamed across the island. Searchlights scanned the waters. Boats were dispatched, but all that remained were the heads in bed, a hole in the wall, and silence. The sea held its secrets, and so did the night. It was June 11th, 1962. The plan was in place. Everything they had built, hidden, and hoped for was now on the line. That night, they placed the dummy heads on their pillows, perfectly positioned for the guards' night rounds. Heart pounding, they slipped through the widened vent behind their cells, one by one. The route led them through a narrow utility corridor, into a ventilation shaft, and up onto the roof. Time was their biggest enemy now. One wrong move, one noise, and it would all be over. The raft, carefully folded and hidden, was waiting atop a secluded spot near the shoreline. As they descended down a kitchen vent pipe, soaked in sweat and fear, the silence of the night became their shield. Below them, the dark, freezing waters of San Francisco Bay. There was no turning back. Either they would disappear forever, or they would drown in the attempt. The official search lasted days. Boats, helicopters, and divers scoured the bay, but all they found was a paddle, a torn piece of the raincoat raft, and a sealed envelope floating near Angel Island. The FBI launched a massive manhunt. Public opinion split. Some believed the men drowned. Others claimed they made it. The prison claimed victory. No one escapes Alcatraz. But something didn't sit right. The raft pieces were found far from the prison, suggesting it floated. No bodies surfaced, unusual for drowning victims in those waters. The Anglin family received strange postcards. A flower delivery was signed J. Frank's background and escape, the Anglin brothers' swimming skills. It all hinted at success. But with no proof, the case stayed open. Inmates whispered of ghosts who made it. The escape wasn't just a break from prison. It had become folklore, a riddle written in salt and silence. Decades passed, but the mystery lived on. Rumors surfaced from South America. A blurry photograph taken in 1975 showed two men in Brazil resembling the Anglin brothers. Handwriting experts compared letters sent to family members. A cryptic note arrived in 2013 claiming to be from John Anglin, offering a deal in exchange for medical help. The FBI tested DNA, cross-checked records, and even exhumed bodies of the Anglin's relatives to compare markers. The prison had closed down, but the story kept it alive. Tour guides whispered their tale to wide-eyed visitors. Books, films, and documentaries speculated endlessly. For some, it was a testament to human will. For others, it was an embarrassment to the system. But for the families left behind, it was personal. The truth was buried in time, and perhaps in the quiet corners of a foreign town. Then came 2025. A group of scientists fed the 1975 Brazil photograph into a state-of-the-art AI facial recognition system. The software compared hundreds of facial data points with mugshots from 1962. The result? A 97.8% match. Experts were stunned. The faces in the photo weren't just lookalikes. They were almost certainly John and Clarence Anglin. Further analysis showed them working on a small farm under fake identities. The breakthrough sparked headlines across the world. The case, once buried in dust and debate, roared back to life. The FBI acknowledged the findings, but offered no official closure. The photo had been real. The escape had likely succeeded. What remained was the mystery of Frank Morris. Was he in the photo too? Had he gone elsewhere? No one knew for sure. But what was certain now? Alcatraz had been beaten. While the Anglin brothers' fate seemed clearer, Frank Morris remained a ghost. No photos, no letters, no sightings, nothing. Some believed he had died during the crossing. Others claimed he went underground, changing his face and identity. Conspiracy theories exploded online. Some swore he had moved to Europe. Others linked him to unsolved crimes across the U.S. But no proof ever surfaced. In a sealed FBI memo leaked in late 2025, one agent described a tip from 1981, a man matching Frank's description living in rural France. But the lead was never followed. The escape had become more than a crime. It was now a myth wrapped in evidence and echo. Frank's absence became his legend. He was either the master of vanishing or the ocean's final secret. The truth, once again, remained silent. But silence doesn't mean the end. Not yet. In late 2025, the FBI officially closed the Alcatraz escape case. They cited the AI evidence, letters, and physical clues as sufficient proof of survival. The Anglin brothers had evaded justice, but not memory. Their story became one of daring, brilliance, and endurance. Frank Morris, the brain behind the operation, was listed as presumed dead or missing. Tourists still walk the halls of Alcatraz, peering into the cells once filled by ghosts. The dummy heads sit behind glass, and the hole in the wall is now a symbol of human will. What they left behind wasn't just broken cement and stitched rubber. It was a legacy, a tale that defied iron bars and freezing waves. A reminder that no cage is unbreakable. The ocean didn't drown the truth. It just held it until the world was ready to believe. And now, after 63 years, the case is finally closed.